Part 25, Chapter 49. Hale should have felt good, or at least he should have felt a hint of good. But he didn't. He'd failed the only person who'd been there for him, and it was weighing heavily on him. Hurrying back to the shore after the raft left, he'd begun running along the riverbank, hoping to find someone with a car or a boat or even a bicycle. There was no one, though as his churning legs began to cramp and his chest began to ache, he came upon a marina that rented houseboats, and, outside of it, a blue sign with the white silhouette of a telephone. 40 minutes later, 6 army helicopters were landing near the marina. 2 men hopped from the first one to touch down and ran over to Hale. "Captain Hale," Wilkins said as he approached the shack. "Colonel," Hale saluted. "Captain, this is Giles Prentice," Wilkins said, "Assistant Chief of Staff to the President." Hale's eyes shifted to Giles. Wilkins he knew and liked. This kid he didn't know and wasn't sure he liked just by looking at him. Hale's eyes said as much, and Giles picked up on it. The newcomer was smart enough to offer his hand and remain silent. "We were surprised to get your call," Wilkins went on, seeming oblivious to what had passed between the two. "Some people had you pegged as the perpetrator." Hale was still looking at Giles. "Anyone we know?" Giles looked away. "Anyway," Hale said quickly, "nice of them to think I had the smarts." "Smarts?" Wilkins said with disgust. "You think Deakins is smart?" "In a sick sort of way? Yes, sir." "This is deviousness, utterly evil and demented," Wilkins said. "What about the raft?" Hale asked, eager to change the subject. "We found it on the other side of the lake," the colonel said. "Tracks from a heavy truck ran out when they hit the paved road." "Any sign of the ranger?" Hale asked. Wilkins shook his head. "No, sorry." Hale's eyes dropped. "We're wasting time then. I assume you've got a rad scanner so we can track them?" Wilkins and Giles swapped looks. "Actually, Captain," Wilkins said, "we're not part of the search and rescue team. The 3 of us are going back to McMurrin." Hale's eyes snapped back up. "What?" Giles said, "We'd just like to ask you a few questions." "Hey, who the hell are you anyway?" "The colonel told you." "No," Hale said, stepping closer. "I mean, who the hell are you to ask me questions? I had nothing to do with this except to have my ass in the way of Deakin's boot in the air, on the ground, and in the water. I'm not going to waste time answering questions when we've got an utterly evil and demented jerk-off running around with an A-bomb." Giles smirked and took a step closer himself. "Captain Hale, you can come with us or—" He threw a thumb over his shoulder. "You can go up with them." Hale looked at the chopper that had landed nearest to them. 4 immaculate MPs had gotten out. From their shades to their sidearms to their spread-legged posture, they were decked out to rumble. The captain glared at Giles. His own tailor-made uniform, crisp and bright just hours before, was now stiff and wrinkled from muck, water, dirt, and sweat. Yet he felt cleaner than this self-important Nathan Thurn of a bureaucrat. Hale looked at Wilkins. "Colonel, I'm the guy who called you. Why would I do that if—" "I don't know." Wilkins cut him off impatiently. "As I said, some people had you pegged as the perpetrator, and some people still do. I'm sorry, Captain, but you're under arrest." "Arrest?" "That's right," Giles said. Hale ignored him. It was either that or kill him. He continued to look at Wilkins. Colonel, let's find the ranger and then I'll go. Please. If she were one of your men, you'd do anything to get her back. Wilkins looked at his watch. Hale, the president has opted to stand up to Major Deakins. We're going to have 20,000 troops on the ground within 15 minutes. We are going to stop him. But if you stop him, she's as good as dead. We've got sharpshooters. If you can get to him, Hale said. Wilkins motioned for Hale to head for the helicopter. He did, with the petulance of a child being sent to his room. The colonel fell in between Hale and Giles. Sir, said Hale, I don't think anyone really understands what's happening here. You do, though. Only because I flew beside the bastard for years, Colonel. I know how his mind works. Deakins had this planned out. He'll blow that thing if you come at him hard. The ranger will die along with a few thousand other people. We don't know that, Wilkins said. Yes, you do. And worse, you don't care. Wilkins glared at him. Captain. All right, maybe you do. Hale corrected him. And maybe that's why you're not happy to be here. You aren't, are you? Wilkins stopped glaring and looked away. Hale stepped ahead of the other two and walked backward in front of the colonel. Tell me if I'm wrong, sir, he said. We take Deakins out in the middle of nowhere Wayne County, where the population's not so dense, and if the nuke goes, it goes. We lose deer and wildcats and the people of Hanksville and Fruita and whoever else is living there when the wind blows. Tough stance on terrorism, regrettable losses and all of that, but unavoidable. The United States government does not consider the loss of civilian lives acceptable, Wilkins said. I didn't say acceptable, Hale told him. I said regrettable. And don't feed me the party line, sir. I know how this drill works. We both do. In a hostage situation, a rescue is considered successful even with a 10% loss of life. There are nearly 1 million people in Salt Lake City. You do the math. Please get in, Captain, Giles said as they reached the chopper. Hale glared at him. You're a suit, so maybe all of this is okay with you. He looked at Wilkins. But we're military officers, Colonel. We took an oath. Those weapons and the safety of that civilian are our responsibility. Now, you want to send me to Leavenworth for 1,000 years starting tomorrow AM? That's fine with me. But right now, sir, as one officer to another, we have a duty to bring this episode to a close. Wilkins and Hale stared at each other. Hale felt like he had the colonel somewhere close to where he wanted him. Sir, Hale said, all I'm asking is the chance to finish what I started here. Give me 2 hours. Come with me. You've served in the field. I can't, Wilkins said. The deadline's 9 a.m., which is less than 2 hours from now. Fine, give me 1 hour. I can do this. Giles said, the crisis management team is not prepared to turn this matter over to an Air Force major who may or may not have a hard-on for his partner. Hale said, I'm gonna punch you, pissant. You will not, Wilkins said. He took a deep breath. Captain Hale, I have orders to return you to McMurrin. You understand what orders are, don't you, Captain? Yes, sir, Hale said gloomily. Good, Wilkins said. Because we're going to break them. Hale looked at him. Sir? Are you hard of hearing? Wilkins asked. Actually, sir, yes. Hale smiled. But thank you, sir. Wilkins looked at Giles. Any argument, Mr. Prentice? Would it do any good if I had one? Giles asked. Now he was the one who was gloomy. Frankly, no, it wouldn't, Wilkins said. Giles shrugged. Then no, Colonel. I have no argument. The men started jogging towards the helicopter, and Giles looked at Hale. And for the record, Captain, I'm not just a suit. I was a reserve lieutenant in the ROTC. 2 years, Yale. New Haven is a war zone, Wilkins said. Hale gave Giles a half smile. So now we're the Three Musketeers, he said. Let's kick ass then, shall we? Chapter 50. Dusty slices of light passed through the slatted walls of the open rear of the trunk. It turned the steel D-rings into gleaming circles of silver, and what was lashed between them, a web-like black hammock, into a shadow that cast more shadows on the floor of the truck. Except where the bomb was. It cast a solid shadow, like a stubby pencil, amid the network of dark lines. Deakins stood over the nuclear bomb that lay on the hammock. Though the bomb caused the fibers to stretch and strain, they kept it relatively steady as the truck sped down the empty stretch of highway. That had enabled them to stay on the move as Max attached the timer. Sitting cross-legged in front of him, his blue eyes peering out from his leathery, weather-beaten face, Max was keying numbers into the electronic timer. The short, trim man's eyes were partially obscured by his longish, dirty blonde hair. Deakins wondered how the hell he could see. Deakins heard the distinctive cry of a bird of prey, and Max jumped as there was a sudden flutter of wings and wild clucking. You know, Major, Max said, I usually do work like this in a dirt-free, not to mention chicken-free environment. For what I'm paying you, you should be able to do it one-handed in a dust storm. Deakins looked around. Besides, I think it adds to the ambience. Max sneered into his flannel sleeve. How's that? Deakins looked up at the canvas covering on the truck and thought of the canvas floor in a boxing ring. It was a fitting full circle. One a symbol of his poor Hell's Kitchen youth, the other a symbol of the riches that were about to pour down on him. What? Deakins said. Oh, you wanted to know about the ambience. Well, feathers are flying, frightened birds are squawking. It prepares us, spiritually, for what's about to transpire. You have the soul of a poet, Max observed. That I do. Deakins smiled. Max said, You want it set for 9:05, correct? Deakins nodded. Max checked his watch. That's exactly 23 minutes from now. You sure you don't want more of a window? Deakins said, Don't need it. Besides, I promised the folks in Washington, and I wouldn't want to let them down. Max set the timer and stood, straightening slowly. I remember when I used to be able to hop right up. You can buy yourself some therapy, Deakins said. He went to the front of the cargo area. He stopped where the canvas covering reached the cab. I'm going to join Shepard and the boys. You stay here. And do what? Max asked. Deakins said, Watch. Watch what? The Major grinned. The chickens. Who knows? We might get breakfast.